And I would love for you to talk a little bit more about this resisted running, some of the changes that you've made. Because I know a lot of guys who are working with athletes of the same group. Some I see do a pretty high volume of resisted runs. Some I almost see them never do it. So, what were some of the things you were noticing as a result of using the resisted sprinting? What kind of resisted sprinting were you using? What were the loads like? And what ultimately made you kind of pull this out of the program?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times I was seeing a lack of thigh separation. Really as simple as that. I think that was the main thing I was seeing was, all right, we're shortening our stride a lot, and I understand that that's kind of going to happen with some resisted sprinting, and that's okay. But then if we go into an unresisted sprint and the thighs aren't opening, then how much is it actually helping? So I think that was a big thing. Learning about Ken Clark's research on thigh angular velocity, things like that. That's kind of been like something that I've looked more for in terms of technique and performance and things like that. So when I was seeing a lack of that and then continuing a lack of that into unresisted sprinting, it just kind of like sounded some bells for me. So it was kind of an experiment. We pulled more and more resistance out of training. And the more we did, the more we PR'd. So I was just like, okay, I think there's a little bit something more to this than I think you know, was my original theory. And things have been good ever since. We've done resisted sprinting with chains, we've done it with sleds, we've done it with run rockets. We've pretty much used anything you can imagine besides a 1080. And similar results across the board with our high school athletes who are strong. I just don't know if they need it as much. And then with our younger athletes who aren't very force developed anyway, then we're going to probably not improve their strength in like the relative sense any more than we could in the weight room and just getting more relatively strong. So just trying to keep things separate. Honestly, if we need to get stronger and we need to get faster, then we need to do unresisted sprints and we need to lift weights. So just seeing those two things over time kind of combine themselves. In our program, it happened, but I just don't think it's that important to a lot of developing athletes, and especially from that middle school to high school range. I will say that with some of our older athletes, like our college athletes and maybe some professional athletes that we worked with, it does become important. Like we can really dial in like a 50% velocity decrement and have them improve acceleration. It's something that is pretty effective for them because they're already pretty proficient technically and they already have a background of being strong and a long a long amount of time in real strength and conditioning already. So with them, it's very effective, and then with other people, it just hasn't been for us.
Yeah. So it's resisted sprinting is masquerading as shitty strength training when it comes to young athletes. Is that fair to say?
That's kind of what I thought and saw, and yeah, seems to be looking that way with in terms of results here.
Yeah, we end up at this profound place where we're like, oh, to run faster, we're going to run faster.